Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week. If you could head out to YouTube and smash that subscribe and bell notification button, and obviously drop a like on the video as well to help us grow the channel. This is your Newcastle versus Liverpool preview coming to you Saturday evening, 5:30 from St James's Park. Always a tough place to go. Eddie Howe doing a fabulous job with Newcastle. Wales have come a little bit unstuck, say, or a little bit stuck over the last few weeks. If you look at their last six results, and we'll go through it, five draws and a win. So although they haven't been losing, they haven't been winning either at times, and there seems to be looking at them a little bit of maybe fatigue, physical and mental fatigue, kicking in at the dizzy heights at which they're reaching this season. Being in the top four now for a while, looking very impressive, and trying to stake a claim for those European spots and potentially Champions League spots. For Liverpool, it's been very blunt in recent weeks and stuff like that, some poor performances and stuff, but came out Monday night for the Merseyside derby. And look, if you're not going to be up for the Merseyside derby, when are you going to be up for a game? So Liverpool coming out putting on a fantastic performance against Everton, who were on a good roll with Sean Dyche. Now after taking over that kind of new manager bump, let's say, and stuff like that, but looked all over the place on Monday night. Liverpool absolutely tore them asunder, and to be honest, the score wasn't really a reflection of the game. To be honest, Liverpool looked back somewhere and somewhat back to what we were used to, but nevertheless, a tough trip to St James's Park now awaits us. And you will kind of think that this game is kind of a top four eliminator, if you like. If we beat Newcastle at St James's on Saturday, I think we're bang slap back into a top four race. I think if we lose, we're out of it. And Newcastle, for them, they'll want to lay claim to a top four by putting on a good show on Saturday and getting the win. Likewise, we'll want to go up there and get the win. Very difficult place to go to. Boisterous crowd, that Geordie crowd, always behind their team and stuff like that. And very impressed with what they've done so far this season. But yeah, that's where it really lies in terms of the game and its importance and stuff like that. If you look at a current form at the moment, as I said, Eddie Howe, five draws in his last six games with a win. Liverpool at the moment with two wins, three losses, and a draw. Very indifferent, but coming into the game in somewhat a different form. Us from Monday looking like we're kind of on the up and finding ourselves again, especially with a few players back. Um, dare I say, Newcastle kind of faltering somewhat. We're lucky to get out of Bournemouth with a point the other day. Solanke, old Liverpool boy, had a great chance to soap the points for Bournemouth. Didn't get it done. But Newcastle looked like they were really struggling. We looked really refreshed. Obviously, Bobby back on the bench and Van Dijk and Jota back in the team and stuff like that. We looked kind of like there was a little bit more to us and a little bit more about us. But let's take some comments first. Henry's in. Check out Henry Ray Baker channel. Hi, Niall. Just popped in to say hi as I have a stream at 8 p.m. myself. Good man. Check out Henry's one at 8 o'clock as well, folks. And Mark Forrest is in. How are you, Mark? Going to be a very hard game if we don't perform like we did the other day. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a real lousy season. I mean, you could probably count on one hand, I would say, Mark, the amount of times we've had something nearly to cheer about. It's been a real struggle this season. And not only for just being a fan, but imagine being a content creator as well, and you're having to go through this week in, week out. But they did give us something to shout and cheer about there on Monday. Salah looked more at it. Hendo looked more at it. All the lads looked more at it. And I think it was probably the fact that we had some familiar faces back on the bench as well, probably lifted the mood as well. And something, it was good to see the gaffer back smiling again as well and pumping the chest for the cop and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just hoping that we've had a good week's training and prepared well, because we've known in the past that Liverpool, we can come unstuck against Eddie Howe at times. Tactically, he's pretty good when he comes up against Jurgen Klopp. We've seen it with Newcastle and we've seen it with Bournemouth, and we've seen last time out. Remember, Newcastle, the only game they've lost this season is the game against us, and that took a 98-minute winner from Carvalho. So that game was a proper flip of a coin. But other than that, they haven't lost any games. It's a sensational run they've been on in terms of results and stuff like that. Even though there's a huge sprinkling, something like I think 11 draws in there and stuff like that. But it just goes to show how tight the games are and how difficult it is to play against Newcastle, how difficult they make it. Mark's in the comments again. He says, I'm doing good, just nervous for the rest of this season. Man, I'm nervous week in, week out. Can't even look too far ahead. Real next week as well. Good Lord. It's going to be an absolute belter. Let's have a look at some team news. If you look at Newcastle at the moment, changes were forced against Bournemouth. Of course, Joe Willock came off, Alan Saint-Maximin as well, and Almiron, who's been excellent for them this season, although he's kind of faded somewhat in the last number of weeks. But prior to that, he's been absolutely excellent, having a real breakout season, that boy. Bruno Guimaraes is suspended, of course, and also absent at the moment. A guy we know, Javier Manquillo, Emile Kraft, and Matt Targett. And Callum Wilson is a hamstring, and Jamal Lascelles for personal reasons, but they are expected to return. Likewise, he's expecting Willock, Saint-Maximin, and Almiron to come back in as well. So they're not missing an awful lot. Talk as well that Anthony Gordon may keep his place in midfield. That'd ratchet up a bit of the shithousery there, wouldn't it, that we'd like to see. For Liverpool, obviously, Jota has returned. Virgil's back. Roberto Firmino's back. The Invisible Man, Arthur Melo, is supposed to be back or very close to it, but we know Thiago is missing. Konate is missing. And Luis Diaz, we've seen some footage this week of him back in training, kind of doing light work and stretching and band work and stuff like that. But great to see him back in there active again, which means hopefully he's not too far away. It'd be great if we could get a full complement back as we push towards the end of the season. Who knows, might be able to get a top 4, which would be absolutely fantastic considering the season we've had. And who knows, looking at Spanish football at the moment, looking at the dire situation Real Madrid are in at the moment, 10 points, I think, off the top, way off the pace. And talk of Ancelotti, they want him gone and all this kind of thing. So there might be a little bit of a disturbance in the force for Real Madrid. And if there is, hopefully Liverpool will be up to take advantage of it. My main man, Kyle Walsh, is in the comments. How are you, Kyle? Big up, Niall. Dream is over and fuming. Don't write it off yet, Kyle. I know I seen your reaction last night on Del Boy's channel and stuff like that. Don't write it off yet, mate. You have a game in hand. Live it, breathe it, and try and keep it going. Big up the lads, and who knows what can happen. A couple of big games coming up now, Villa and Leicester and stuff like that. You need to get maximum points out of those. Beating City, it's tough. I know, Kyle, I'm a Liverpool man. We've been hunting City down for years now, and it's just the mental fatigue, even as a fan, trying to keep them at bay is unnatural. I can't imagine what it's like as a player. But you are on a little bit of a slide there. Confidence seems fairly low, and the players look a bit tired and fatigued. Maybe that mental and physical pressure of trying to keep up that title race and staying at the top of the table is starting to catch up on those boys and their legs. And again, as you said yourself last night as well, your bench, there's not a lot to be swung from the bench. Maybe some of the business you wanted to do in January didn't get done, and that's left you a little bit exposed. For me, and I say it on most of those Arsenal streams as well, the Balogun situation for me is madness. The guy is the top scorer in the French league, absolutely banging the goals in. How he wasn't recalled is a shock to me. I just don't get it. Mo Salah, we have to talk about Mo Salah. Mo Salah is going in search of chasing down Robbie Fowler. 2 goals that will see him draw a level with Robbie Fowler on 128 goals as the Reds' top scorer in the Premier League history. So 2 more goals for Mo Salah pulls him level with God, Robbie Fowler, which would be absolutely amazing when you think about Fowler. What a goal machine he was, And Mark gives us an update. United only drew with Barca. Yeah, and I tell you, Barca were lucky because I tell you one thing, Barca United were on fire tonight. Bit slow to start with, but once they got into the game, Rashford could have had a hat trick. Unbelievable the job Ten Hag is doing, and it's amazing with Casemiro coming in. What they've changed so much. Acers in the comments. What game? What a game between Barca and United. Fred daylight robbery, clearly penalty. How did that ball not cross the line? Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't watching towards the end. I watched most of it, but I didn't watch towards the end. I wanted to jump on and do my own show. Possible starting lineups. If we look at Newcastle, Pope obviously in nets, Trippier at the back, Schär, Botman, Byrne. Dan Byrne, he's just a lunatic, isn't he? I don't know if you've seen him after reaching the final there, and he's talking about did that interview. I'm off to get measured for my suit and all, like Gaza. It was absolutely quality, brilliant. Almiron is in there, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Sam Maximin, Wilson, and Gordon. That's who they're looking like lining up as. For Liverpool, interesting now. Does he change it or give them some minutes for the bench and hold back for the Real game? I wonder. I'm not too sure. But looking at it at the moment, obviously Ali and nets, of course. Trent at the back, Gomez. Looking at Virgil van Dijk here and Robertson. But do you change it up or do you keep Matip in there? I'm wondering. And maybe give Virgil some minutes, in the second half or something like that. Let's see. Chances are he'll probably put him straight back in. Of course, the first name on the team sheet, apart from Alisson, the boy, the man of the moment, Stefan Bietic in midfield. Unbelievable. Fabinho and Henderson. There was a nice balance to that midfield against Everton the other day. Now, I have to say, look, we lost our mind about it on the night because we've had very little to smile about this season, and we did play really, really well. But that Everton side are a poor side. They're a poor, poor side. And this Newcastle side is much better than them, and we will be well more organised. No doubt about it. Fabinho, Henderson, and of course Salah, Nunez, and Gakpo up front. I think that's the only change. The only change I think you're looking at from Monday night is maybe Van Dijk for Matip. But does he take out Matip or would he take out Gomez? Joey G had a good game there the other night, played really, really well against Everton. And it just goes to show there's a serious player in there when concentration is 100% and 100% of the time. We know that he can do really, really well. But what's happened with us this season as well, when we've thought that we've turned the corner, we're back kind of with that energy and intensity and stuff like that. That's when this season we have dropped off and dropped the ball then, and that's a real concern going into this game as well. Newcastle away it's a tough fixture at the best of times. I see this being a really, really tight game. I don't think we're going to get one of those historical 4-3s out of it or anything like that. Had a quick look at the betting, as we always do. Newcastle are 11-8. The draw is 5-2, and Liverpool are 17-10. The only real value I could find out there was both teams to score and Liverpool to win. So potentially a 2-1, something tight or something like that. It's 5-1. So that has to be worth a few quid to put it on that. Likewise, I'm going with getting my prediction away there. I'm going with a prediction of 2-1. So let us know your prediction in the comments and in the chat. Let us know your potential lineup. Who do you take out? If Van Dijk goes back in, are we taking out Gomez or are we taking out Matip? Who in your mind do you think comes out? Mark Forrest again. Won't see Diaz till next season, I feel. You reckon, Mark? You don't think you'll see him back now? Seems to be doing a lot of work at the moment, a lot of band work and stuff like that and all. I have a funny feeling we'll see him. A lot of people have said potentially they don't necessarily want to see him because of the risk of maybe breaking down again and the fear of injury and stuff like that. I think if we have any chance of pushing potentially to a top 4 and get in and around that, I think we're going to need the boy back. I think we're going to need him to lift the squad again and kick us on another bit more. Acers, this will be the toughest test for Liverpool's midfield. Liverpool midfield, Newcastle unbeaten in 17 games since Anfield defeat. Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of draws in there and a lot of games they got away with as well. So I wouldn't necessarily say, it's not like I look back on a lot of the draws they got there, and how many would you say that they actually they were unlucky not to win and stuff like that. A lot of the times they were unlucky. They were lucky not to lose. And Diaz will be back for United game. That'd be great. Mark again, just don't want to rush him back again. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the gaffer knows that. He's clever enough to know that. And I think that's why they're taking their time, and that's why they probably said like middle of March or something like that, or well out, you know, to give him plenty of time to get ready and stuff like that. They probably knew he was reasonably ahead and stuff like that. But again, there's no shortage up front at the moment for us. Thank God, touch wood, and nothing happens. So it's a case of him coming back in at the right time to just push us on and elevate us on again, maybe another level if we need it in terms of that top four race. But I mean, we can't be talking about a top four race really unless we get the business done on Saturday and we try and go on a bit of a run then, you know. So um the win on Monday against Everton will have been in vain if we don't get the win against Newcastle, you know, because if we beat Newcastle, I think we come within 6 points of them, I think it is it, or something like that. But we have a game in hand still as well. So we could draw it to 3 points, you know, and that would be to be 3 points off four potentially would be massive for us. So let's see how that goes. Like I said, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what your starting lineup would be. Let us know what your prediction is as well. What way do you see it going? Certainly, it's going to be a massive game Saturday evening as well, 5:30 as well. So gives us that little bit more time to prepare and stuff like that, and we'll see other results around us. But certainly a massive game at the weekend for Liverpool, especially on the back of that Merseyside derby having to show up. But spirit should be high. You know, we should be going into this game now full pelt, intensity from minute one and stuff like that. We need to get control of the ball, make a few things happen, and silence that Geordie crowd a little bit. They're very like our own crowd on Anfield. They're that 12th man for them, aren't they? So we need to silence that down and make things happen. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the lineup's going to be. So, like I said, let us know predictions and lineups. We will talk to you again real soon. And don't forget, we're back at 9 o'clock with Thursday Tier Talk. Myself and Darren will be on your screens. We will be doing a Premier League preview. We'll be dropping our picks for Beat the Bookie. We'll certainly be talking about Man United and Barcelona. No doubt we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to be talking about the title race. So if there's Arsenal fans out there who want to come along, we're going to have a good chat about the title race and give our thoughts on it. Let's see what way it's going to go. Certainly, it's when Man City get their noses in front, it's always very difficult. But we will be talking about that at 9 o'clock as well. Plus all the latest news from around football and world. So if you want to join us again at 9 o'clock, Thursday Tier Talk, same channel, same place. We will see you in just over an hour. Thanks for tuning in. You'll never walk alone. Come on, you Reds. Let's keep this run going.